Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, just tuning in through our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. This is part of our 4-year health segment here at the radio station. Recent science from the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women movement shows that women in the United States are underrepresented in clinical research, science, and medicine, comprising less than 40% of participants enrolled in heart disease and stroke clinical research. Now, this is the case even though a new report found that women could live longer and better if more research money was spent on understanding their heart disease. So talk to us about the importance of funding in women's health research. We're excited to have two special guests joining us. We have Dr. Stacey Rosen, American Heart Association volunteer medical expert, and Emmy Award-winning actress Susan Lucci, who's going to also talk with us about her own experience and what's been so important for her to share this message. Thanks to the two of you for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Cyrus. Good to be here.
Yeah, the pleasure's definitely all mine. Dr. Rosen, I want to start with you. Why is it important to increase funding in women's health research, especially with the numbers that I mentioned there?
No, thank you. I'm a longtime volunteer of the Heart Association and a founding member of WHAM, Women's Health Access Matters. And as you said correctly, women historically were underrepresented in science, undertreated, underdiagnosed. In fact, we always had a male model of research in healthcare. So this report that comes out today from WHAM, funded as well and supported by the American Heart Association, is really the first of its kind to specifically look at the economic opportunities and the reasons to invest in research that help society and the economy. We've shown in this report, and it's really a fascinating new way to look at the data, that if we support research on women, in this case on coronary artery disease, blockages in heart arteries that can cause heart attacks, if we do increase that, even modestly, we have an enormous economic and societal impact here in the United States. Women live longer. They live healthier lives without disease from heart attacks and other cardiovascular complications. They stay in the workforce longer. This is actually a fascinating investment model in why we should support women's heart research more.
Wow, it's such great information and such information for our audience that they need to know about the importance of this. Ms. Lucci, I want to ask you, you had your own life-threatening heart episode in 2018. What's been your message to women as you've now been sharing your own story?
Yes, for almost 3 years to the day, I had an episode. I actually had 2 prior episodes that month, and I typically, as a woman, I thought to myself, oh, it's nothing. Oh, it'll go away. Most of us women, that's what we do. The third time, I couldn't ignore it, and I wound up going to the hospital and finding out that I had blockage in 2 of my arteries, a 90% blockage in my main artery and a 75% blockage in my adjacent artery. This came as a complete shock, both to me and to the doctor. The doctor looked at me and knew I was physically fit and knew that I ate kale and couldn't believe that I had this. And so it's really proof that this could happen to anyone. I had never had any health issue at all, and my reports were all really glowing. So it came as a huge shock. And so the takeaway that I felt really so honored to be able to have an opportunity to have a platform to pass on my good luck to other women out there was this: to put yourself on your to-do list. I almost didn't go to the hospital because it was my day off, and as most women do, I thought, well, no, I have to do this, I have to go here, I have to do this. So by going to the hospital, I learned that putting yourself on your to-do list can save your life. I was told by the doctor and the nurses that had I not gone to the hospital feeling this chest pain that was radiating around my rib cage to my back, that I probably would have, I avoided having the widowmaker by going to the hospital. And so that's what women can do for themselves, to pay attention to your symptoms. If your body is not behaving the way you know it is, don't be afraid that you will be thought of as being too dramatic or overly dramatic. Go to the doctor. have yourself checked out. I've met a lot of survivors through this Go Red for Women movement and the American Heart Association who have told me that, quite frankly, they had to really insist with the doctor, sometimes almost beg the doctor to test them to make sure that they had what they thought they had. And a lot of that, I think, comes from the lack of research. It's thought of as a man's disease. But heart disease, cardiovascular disease, kills more women every year than all cancers put together. That was something I didn't know until I got involved with the Go Red for Women movement and the American Heart Association. This is really important information. As of 1993, before that, it took an act of Congress to mandate that female mice were included in research for heart disease and for health issues at large. I mean, and that's a mandate from Congress. And even now, in 2021, only 17 cents of the national budget is allocated for women's research, whereas $4 is allocated for men's health research. We don't want to take away anything from the men, but we also want the women to be a part of this research because, as Dr. Rosen said, we are not little men. We have different, our cells are different, our cells are different. Certainly our hormones are different, and parts of our lives are different, and all of that impacts. So the more we can research women as well as men, we are all in this together. We are all part of each other's lives, and we want us all to have our loved ones in our lives as long as possible. Plus, women drive the economies of every country on the planet. So the longer women can be in good health, the better those economies can be. That's the result of the WHAM research.
Well, Ms. Lucci, thank you so much for sharing this information. Dr. Rosen, thank you so much for this time. Dr. Rosen, where can our audience go for more information about the funding for women's health research?
Oh, no, thank you. Today's report and the amazing work by the Go Red really accelerate the importance of all of this work. You can always check out more information at goredforwomen.org/research funding to learn more about your ways to stay heart healthy, your ways to participate in research, and more information on the economic impact of expanding research for women.
Dr. Rosen, Ms. Lucci, again, thank you so much for this time and sharing this great information, and looking forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you so much, Cyrus.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live, part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.